Welcome, everybody. You're welcome to GoKardinal Live. Oh, it's obviously from my end because you're being seen by every other person except me.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So, welcome, everyone. You're welcome to Travel Talk with GoKardinal. My name is Queeneth. I am the community manager. And today's session, we're talking about what's broken in business travel. We have with me here Mr. Collins, CEO and seasoned traveler himself. Please, can you introduce yourself, sir?
Hi, everyone. My name is Cornelius. I am a business travel manager. Let me use that. I'd probably not say seasoned traveler because my passport is not full yet, but it will get filled up very soon.
Okay. I was trying to hype you, not collect the hype.
I'm going to take it, but I'm going to talk to you.
Something, your voice is kind of faint. Please, can you be closer to your mic?
Okay, is it better now?
Yes, it is.
Okay, okay.
Okay, first question for today. We're going to have two segments for today. The first segment will be travel pain points. And the first question today is, what was your worst business travel experience before GoCardinal was even an idea? Just one of those trips that made you question all your life choices.
Okay, I'm going to start by first saying that um, travel is something that we all have to travel at some point in our life. We basically travel, right? Whether you are doing using road transport, you are flying, you are doing very ocean and the likes, you are traveling, right? So most times when
Yeah.
people talk about travel, we see it from one perspective, flight, but it goes beyond that. Travel can be in so many avenues using various means, right? People use train to travel and it becomes a thing for them. So, just because of the question, I'm also going to take it from the perspective that you asked from. So for me, I worked in a company where I basically travel often, right? Before Go Cardinal, before Go Cardinal. That's like two companies before Go Cardinal. And then I had to travel off. I travel using my own funds, right? I have to probably travel and send funds to the company, eventually to reimburse me. And within that period, I had quite a number of challenges. I have to, because it's a sales role and you need to convert, right? You need to speak, visit clients, you need to do all those things to win accounts. So you are not even going to consider when a client say, "Oh, can you come to Port Harcourt for a meeting?" You just have to take the next flight to go to Port Harcourt, and you are not waiting for the company to pay you immediately. You just have to go and win that business. So then it was actually very challenging for me, right? And I would say that was one of the major things that actually prompted me when the idea of Go Cardinal came in, and I was like, "Oh, this is quite a problem that I personally have experienced." Right? And it goes beyond trying to build a solution around that. It's not trying to ensure that probably other people might not experience that because that time sometimes I have to sacrifice my feeding just so I can actually be on that flight, right? Because if I have this amount and have to catch a flight, I just have to consider that this is more important. Eventually, I'm going to send an invoice to the company and they would pay me back, but that doesn't come immediately. It can take sometimes 2 weeks before you get your reimbursement. So it becomes a challenge. Now, being
Yeah.
in the travelers, I've also had people talk about so many challenges that they face. Something like when you can imagine when you get to the airport, excited, you're about to fly, you are going for a meeting, and just there at the airport, they are just informing you that, oh, the flight has been rescheduled, or even worse, the flight has been cancelled. The stress, the energy that you probably use to get to that airport, all they are just going to be dashed to your face. Oh, you are going to wait for another 6 hours just because you probably didn't get the notice or you did not see the notice. So it becomes a challenge for them as well, and that is one of the major complaints that you basically hear from Travelers, if you speak with people that travel very often, that would be a major problem with them. In fact, if you go online and you probably type flight or you type one particular airline, you will see so many people complaining about them in situations like this. Then another one that probably I've heard people complain about is when you book a ticket to probably go to a particular destination, but then because you are not clear on the visa policy, you get to the airport and the people at the counter are telling you that you cannot fly because you don't have the required visa permit to jump on that flight. Now you are now stranded at that airport, money wasted. So many things could happen at that point. You are angry, you are frustrated, you are looking at the next way to get another ticket that would actually fly you to your destination. So you would see
Yeah.
that those are probably challenges that people experience when it comes to flying, right? We can look at it from another perspective, like probably if you want to travel to, like, now the train is probably working, you want to go from Lagos to Ibadan, and you are rushing to with your train trip only to get to the station and they are telling you that the seat is sold out just because you weren't able to buy online, because most people don't even know that they actually sell these things online. You get. So there are so many challenges when it comes to traveling, and I think let me just take it hang it here so that we can actually take more questions and see how we can explain so many of them as we go on.
Okay. All right, that was cool. The question two. Why do you think booking a business trip still feels like an unpaid part-time job? From searching for flights or comparing prices to those that are just confirming the travel dates, emails. Why is it so hard?
Hmm. Okay, I think this person sits so right to everyone, especially if you are probably the one booking trip for a
Yeah.
company, right? You would probably agree with your question that you are not far from the truth, right? Um, Unlike leisure travel, when if I am traveling, I can easily go on any OTA online booking platform and probably book my flight. Business travel is a bit different because most times they are not traveling as an individual. One person is not going at that particular trip at that time. Sometimes you can see as many as five people traveling for for the company is now mandated to book trip for all these people. It becomes a problem, right? You would see that it's not easy. It's not easy to actually manage such situation. And now the truth is, the travel industry is still not meeting up to expectation when it comes to technology innovations and trying to change the status quo. It is basically the same thing that we've been seeing all the years. A box, you type Lagos box, the second box, you type Abuja, or the second box, you now put in your date, you put every other detail, and you hit on search. It rotates and bring you travel options. You now select the one you want. Um, you now begin to type in the names one after the other. 10% in there now in the process all this while, right? So you would see that it hasn't changed, and people booking trips can see this as a very difficult process, right? So it's something that we believe that it can change. There should be a better way of doing these things, and I
Yes.
believe that's one thing I like about the GoKardinal app and the things that we are trying to build out. It's not just about settling for the status quo. It's not about how do we do it better? How do we make it better for people that are people treasure, right? When you come on the okay, I will use an instance. If you probably want to go on the ride, most people would say, "Oh, I can easily book my ride." They can go on any of the ride platform and book that ride. But the same person tell the person, "Okay, book a flight to Ja." The person will tell you, "I don't know how to do this," but it's still the same technological tools, right? So why are you not able to do this one, but you can do this one? So you would see that it's now about the user experience, how easy it is for the users to be able to navigate from the searching to the booking to every other thing. And when it comes to business travel, the integrity around this thing should be looked at so that the entire process is made seamless for whoever that is making that booking.
Right. Okay. Thank you, sir. The number 3 question says a lot of people complain about flight cancellations and last minute reschedules with no heads up. Do you think that that's a tech problem or a people problem or just the travel gods having fun with travelers?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Okay, yes, you're back. We can hear you now.
Oh, I just don't know how I was just knocked out of the session.
Oh,
Okay,
sorry.
so I think we were discussing how I'm sorry for everyone listening. Sorry, Jerry. It's still the same thing that we are talking about, right?
Um,
Technological disruption.
yeah, and
So
flight
most
cancellation.
disruption, just like what we experience now, you don't even know that they are basically going to happen, right? They just happen, and at that point, the airlines they are struggling to see how to salvage it or how to solve it, and they are losing money at that time, right? However, I would not also shy from the fact that some of them can be planning error, right? Is human beings, and we know sometimes you can see some people can be nonchalant with some of these policies or processes, right? If you are sure that you have enough aircraft that can probably do this number of trips per day, why increase it? Or probably how do you salvage it so that you don't take so much and then eventually you are not able to service all. We've had instances where you hear of a particular airline would oversell at, and at that point when they probably sold over capacity, they're not trying to make way, and you now see disruptions happening here and there. So it happens also. But then the fact is, yes, the solution can also be likened to the proper notification, right? If my flight is disrupted or changed or rescheduled and I get notified about it on time, now, what the airline has done at that point is that they've moved the complaint from, oh, you've wasted my time, to something that would be more positive because you are aware of this disruption without having to get to the airport and you are now meeting such at the airport, right? And that is where the idea of technology comes. And most of the things that we are studying or trying to check in GoKardinal is how do we make that notification better? And when I mean better, I mean even you as your session, can you probably select the notification process that sits well with you? What if you open your WhatsApp and the first thing you are seeing on your WhatsApp message on top is, oh, your flight for this has been changed from this time to this time? At that point, you are not even going to blame anybody because you have that message hanging there, or the prompt is hanging on your phone. Once you power your phone, you are seeing a prompt telling you, oh, your flight has been changed. So the airline can do better when it comes to designing better ways of informing passengers about the status of their flights, and people can also find it, or people can easily personalize, if I would use that, the process or the medium that works better to fit their awareness.
All right. Thank you, sir. That was insightful. Now let's go to number 4. The question for number 4 says, let's talk about the classics, the reimbursements. We'll reimburse you later line. Why is it that reimbursement process still feels like tax season? Isn't there a smarter way for that?
I like this question
Hello?
because at least I experienced it, like I mentioned, it's something I also felt very painful. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes.
Okay, so like I said, it's something that I experienced, and I know how frustrating it can be. And truth is, when it comes to businesses, it's still the same thing. So many companies believe that once a system works, or they believe that the system is working, they are not ready to change it. You
Okay.
get, oh, the employees, they should travel and submit an invoice to pay them in 2 weeks. It works for them, and they're not ready to change the status quo. right? They're not ready to change that process. They're not considering how the financial stress can affect that particular employee, right? And it's not new that these things are that there is movement, there is better ways of doing these things, but then we still see companies go through the same old habit of allowing employees to fund their trips. And the idea is, if an employee is going on a business trip, right, and the business approve of that trip, the business should find a befitting way of settling that trip without having to pass the financial burden onto the employee, and that is what the process should be. And talking about better ways of doing it, there are better ways of doing that. In fact, currently, what the industry is doing is that so many travel agencies that manage companies, they have like a credit system where they pay and they send invoice manually to the business, and the business probably pays them depending on their credit agreement. So that is what is obtainable currently. And what GoKardinal is pushing is how to automate that thing. So it's not just about, oh, I believe I know, or I believe that I have credit with your company, but you are not even aware of the status of that your credit. This time around, you are able to see your credit. You are able to track how it is depleting. You are seeing it in real time, and that is what GoKardinal is pushing from our own end, right? It's just like when you have your bank account, and when you get your salary and you are looking at your money, your bank account is smiling. Before the middle of the month, you see it depleting. You are paying for this, you're paying for that, you're paying for this. So it's just the same way. You are looking at your wallet in your dashboard, you are booking trip, your account is depleting and depleting. So you can easily know, okay, I think we've used a number, you've used this money, so
Yes.
let's fund back. So you can now add more funds to that. So that way, as a business, you are not even putting pressure on yourself, because for businesses, the idea is that they are trying to remove the pressure on themselves. That's why they are channeling into the employees. But what the industry is presenting is also helping you to not put the financial pressure on yourself or your employee. This time around, there is technology that over the credit system, while you auto-generate an invoice and make payment using your company's payment process. So it's still the same thing all around, but this time around better.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So please, to our viewers, if you have questions, you can drop your questions on the box and to be answered. Give you guys like few seconds to drop your messages or questions or whatever you want to ask about business travel or travel. Don't forget, this is Travel Talk, and we're discussing actually how GoKardinal can actually help and the pain points of travels. So our next segment, we're going into how AI can help. So let's talk about the solutions AI can provide in terms of travel, business travels. Mr. Collins, the question for this segment, number one here is, so here is the million naira question. Can anyone really fix travel chaos, or is it just a fancy word people throw around? What exactly are we building at GoKardinal?
Okay, let's start from understanding where it is. I think that would probably give better context into the solution, right? AI basically is artificial intelligence, and I believe everybody must have heard it one way or the other, right? It's just a tool that is intelligent enough to do better work, right? So as human beings, we have capacity. This is what we can do as human beings. And at that point, you can't go beyond that, or you can't do faster than that. Now, AI is probably coming to do that thing that you can do, but now better, more efficient. So I feel that is an easier way to understand the concept of artificial intelligence. It's just a tool that learn to it. If it's learning, you have to train it. If you don't train it, actually, it's not going to do it better.
Yes.
So the tool comes, learns what you are doing, probably go history globally, see what other people doing, and now forms a better way of probably delivering the same results efficiently. So that is the idea of AI. And when you look at various industries, right? When I say industries now, I'm talking about like the fintechs, the health tech, the agri techs, almost all industries. You will see a lot of wave happening. People are talking about AI. How can we integrate AI into our products? How do we make it better? You hear people trying to be the first mover in the market. We are trying to be the first people that has got AI powered this, AI powered that. So it's quite good actually, right? Because it is the future. Actually, it is the future of technological innovation as it stands now. And the travel industry should not be left that. So when it comes to AI and travel chaos, we are looking at the current process that we have when it comes to people traveling. How can we use AI to solve that process? That time that you are at the airport and probably your flight has been cancelled and at the airport, you just need to be on the next flight. Your probably solution would be to pick your phone and call your travel agent or the call, and you are now resting on the mercy of that person to pick the call and request that. You can actually pick up your phone if there is something like that. Probably say you can even be voice noting as not in flight system automatically do it. Right? So many use cases that we can actually explore when it comes to what AI can do better, right? When it comes to expense management, when it comes to approval process, when it comes to the actual booking, it's no longer about typing on the inside the boxes, right? It can just look as simple as picking up your phone on WhatsApp, type what you want, the way you want it, and the system looks at your history. Or you like flying this particular airline and you prefer this particular time, you like this seat selection, you like this food, and the system automatically accumulates everything that is personalized for you and pushes to you immediately, efficiently. Even if you are probably looking at, the most cost-effective option, is also searches for the most cheapest option available and pushes it to you without having to speak to multiple people or going through various channels. So AI can actually be explored in so many ways when it comes to travel, and I believe that is what we are trying to explore, because the idea is, if AI can actually make it better for some other industries, why not travel industry? We believe that there is problem, we want to solve that problem, and we want to ensure that we are solving this problem with the user in mind, right? And that means the user should be able to tell us what they feel they need to be solved, the problem they are experiencing while traveling, and we can now look at, okay, how do we develop a solution that can actually problem. That is the idea.
Thank you, sir. So one of the futures you're cooking, or should I say Cardinal is cooking, is
Oh
AI-powered
boy.
smart notification. I know you spoke a little about it before. Is If that had existed before, how do you think it would open or would help someone avoid missing a flight or booking a bad ticket?
Okay, when it comes to notification, the idea for us when it comes to notification is you are able to set notification that makes it easier for you, so that you are always aware of the status of your flight, right? Something like if you are someone that's probably always on WhatsApp, right? While
Yeah.
booking your flight or setting your user profile, you can always say all notifications should be pushed to WhatsApp, and it works for you, right? You are not going to check your emails, because the truth is not everybody likes checking emails. So why do we need to set it in a way that if you don't check your email, you are going to miss your flight, right? So if I don't like checking my email and I booked a flight for 11 a.m. and you moved it to 7 a.m., and because I'm not someone that checks my email often, that means I will miss my flight, right?
Yeah.
But if I am given a tool that would probably inform me on the medium that I prefer, right? Probably prompt standing on your phone at all times, giving you status of your flight until when you land at your destination, or via WhatsApp or via SMS or any medium that you want. You just have to personalize it, and the status is presented or sent to you in real time. I believe it's something that would make a lot of sense for many business travelers.
Okay, nice. We have questions coming in, but let's take another question, or let's continue. Then we'll come back to the questions later.
Okay.
Another question from our surveyor says, "Why would you pay for smart expense forecasting?" Let's unpack that. What does that actually mean, and how would it help a team when booking a flight?
So it's a good thing that we are building a solution for businesses. So I believe if you are a business traveler or probably you are from a company, you would understand the importance of keeping track of receipts and invoices, right? How
Yeah.
important it is, because one receipt or one invoice can be the reason why you lost a job or you are out of employment. So that is how important it is when it comes to businesses. Money matter. When it comes to money matter, you have to be careful.
Extremely.
So, and that's why, and that's why the idea of expense management for us is paramount, right? We don't even want to compromise on that. Now, for finance team, it becomes a different ball game because they are not even the people booking this trip for most companies. The idea for them is probably when the person sitting on the travel desk books a flight, or the travel agency they're using books a flight, they probably send an invoice to the finance team. But you would also know that one mandate for accountants is that they are looking for the cheapest, or let's say, yes, I will use the cheapest, the most affordable option. Now, when it comes to travel, they don't even have this information, right? Because they're not sitting, they don't even know. They just work based on information that are that's sent to them. So it becomes tricky for them. So for us, we are trying to paint a scenario where you, as a finance team, you can actually look at your history over the period, right? And the system would also consider what the changes that can happen when it comes to ticket prices, right? And use that to give you what your tickets should look like. Something like,
Okay.
as a last year, if you probably travel a lot, as a last year, you can go to Abuja with probably 100,000, 90 something thousand possible. 3 years ago, you can go to Abuja with 40 something thousand, right? But now, if you are going to Abuja, and you probably did not book early, if you don't have like 120,000, maybe you are not even going to enter that flight, right? You might not even see any option. The options you might see might be late night option, and that might not
Work
work
for
for you.
you.
So
Yeah.
yes, the idea is, okay, how can we make it that the system can study the pattern, the movement from over the while, probably 5 years into the future, forecast into the future, see what your travel looks like, your ticket history, what it looks like, and use that to give you informed information so that when they're sending that invoice to you and the numbers are looking ridiculous, you can easily call them back. Why are we spending this amount when this is what it should be, right? So you are also working with intelligent data at your hand. That is one. Then another thing is, now you can also see in real time how much you've spent. Now, for some companies, I think we have seen companies that at the beginning of the year, they will tell you this is what our travel budget looks like for the year, our annual travel budget. We have this amount as our annual travel budget. So it is now left as the finance team to ensure that even as you guys are traveling, right, it shouldn't exceed that, you're working with that budget. And the idea that for every made, there should be a return on investment. It's not just about jumping on that flight. So when it comes to business travel, there should be return on investment. If a business should spend 150,000 so that you travel, the idea is that when you go on that trip and come back, the business would make at least 10 times of that amount from that trip. That is basically how it works. So our system, or what we are building, is to keep track of all these things. You can see in real time how much you spend. You can actually put a return on investment that you expect, and then you can now use that to probably build on so many other data points that you want to capture based on on every particular trip.
Okay. That's 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 going to be a very good how should I put, that's going to be a very good um tool to use that's going
Offering.
to come out from the app. Yes, because a lot of people go through this, and it's going to be really helpful to a lot of travelers. Oh, pray it should come faster.
Oh,
So our last question for
we are
this segment.
excited.
Um,
Take it.
what's one way GoKardinal wants to make travel planning as easy as calling an Uber or ordering lunch? What's one way that will make it easier?
I like this question because when I'm talking to the technical team, I use ordering an Uber to give example of how simple I want it to be, right? So
Yeah,
I think I've said something about that. Almost everybody can easily go get their phones, open their Uber or Bolt app and order a trip, right? But when it
yeah.
comes to booking a ticket flight, you'd see they are very nonchalant about that. Let's use a travel agency. Let's do this, let's do that, right? And the truth is, if there are technological tools that can give you solutions that would make it easy, you would like to do it yourself, because the truth
Sure.
is doing it yourself gives you the visibility, control that you require. Everybody wants to be in control. If you say you don't want to be in control, that means I don't know how to rate it. But for me, if I'm doing something, the idea is that I want to be the person making the decision. I need to be seen to make the decision myself. It gives me that
Yeah.
fulfillment. So the idea for us is the process of planning business trip can be quite long. From making the trip, dropping a requisition to probably the head of department, and the head of department approving it, then you can now send it to your travel desk, and the travel desk will now send to the travel agency, and the travel agency would provide options. They'll have their back and forth on my web, and then to the proofs. Then I send the approval. Whoa, like you can see multiple steps running inside one particular trip, and it's the system. It has been like that. Like it has been like
Have I lost you? Hello, Mr. Collins. I
off.
can't. Okay, I can hear you now. I
Okay,
think
so
your network is
can you,
breaking.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, sorry for that. So the idea for us is, how do we make the communication flow from the traveler to every other person that would get approval to be seamless, so that when you are traveling, you don't have to do multiple emails. One action will be able to perform all the activities for you, and your ticket will be sent to you for your trip. So that is what we are what we are trying to build and push into the market.
Oh, okay. Okay, so let's take the questions that are coming in. Timmy says, will the AI tool be able to make actual bookings using prompts? That would be cool.
That's the idea. The idea is, like I mentioned, the idea of using AI is to make it easy, honestly. So just one or two prompts and your ticket is issued. Correct the name, everything done correctly. So the error would be minimized, the time would be minimized, down to the cost should be minimized as well. So the idea is, how is it that how can you explore AI so that with little prompts you get results for working for when it comes to business.
Okay. Um, Okay, he asked another question and it goes like this. Can the AI to predict and help a business or help businesses avoid travel disruptions like delays and overbookings?
Okay, so because of how the or the travel industry is structured, you can't say the AI should help you avoid it. Rather, AI should help you to get informed on time so that you can
Okay.
take action. If probably you want to go to Abuja and probably there is bad weather for the aircraft to take off, right? You don't expect AI to probably make that aircraft to take off. It has to wait until the weather is okay before the flight would go, right? If you want to, the aircraft that is a mechanical equipment is bad and they need to fix something before the aircraft can actually fly, AI
Yeah.
cannot solve that problem, right? So everything needs to be, all things being equal, everything should be okay before that particular flight can go. What AI can actually do is AI can make you aware or can inform you or give you information on the status of your flight on time, real time status of your flight. Now, another thing that we probably might not know is that when the airline changes or disrupts a flight, your booking on its own, your booking, if you are someone that probably checks your booking, or notice that before you get an email or anything, your booking already is updated with the new details, right? So if they can actually update the booking in real time, that immediately your booking is updated. AI can easily pick the new flight time and send to you, or pick that your flight has been cancelled and send to you so that you can take action in real time. Yes, that is what AI can do, and that is what we are trying to explore.
Okay.
I don't know if
There's
I responded to the person that asked the person.
I think you did, but please, Timmy, can you indicate if he answered you correctly? And there's another question from Faye. She said, "Can the AI to handle clients' complaints, or that will be handled by a human customer service representatives?"
That one is easy, honestly. And the thing is, currently, many industries, when I mean many industries, like the health tech, and they are already using AI as their customer support channel, right? And it works because the truth is, if you as a customer support person, you already know the type of questions you get from or the regular questions you easily get from customers, right? We can easily feed those questions to the to AI at this time, and also feed the AI responses to that, right? The AI will make it better so that when a customer is probably asking that question, oh, the person is typing it on the chatbot, the person is not waiting for the next 2 minutes or so to get a response. The person is getting a response in real time immediately. So if you probably want to book a flight and you need to understand the visa system that works for that particular flight, and you are typing, oh, can this flight going to London, but transiting through Paris, can it work? Once you are dropping it, the system will update you that, oh, probably you need a transit visa or you need something, because automatically AI knows the response, right? So you can also move from, okay, instead of you can also move from that to a real human interaction eventually, because the truth is you cannot do without action. It's part of the process. But then your first response would be through intelligent system that gives you reliable response so that you don't have to wait for a long while for a solution.
Okay. We have two more questions here.
I don't know if I am still here or
Can you hear me?
I am
Can you hear me, Mr. Collins?
lost.
I think it's the network. Please, who can hear me? Ah,
Can you hear?
I can hear you, though your line is breaking, but I can hear you. The network is terrible today, though.
Okay. Yours is not breaking. So
You can hear me now?
just continue. I think I can hear you well.
Okay.
I don't know if any other person. Yeah, I can hear the same. I can hear you very well. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. The network is still breaking. So we have two more questions. One just came in, and the first one is from Timmy again. He said, "How safe is the AI tool when it comes to safeguarding employees' data against being hacked?"
Can you hear?
I can hear you. Should I repeat the question? The network is terrible. Ah, okay. They
Me?
can hear me, but
I
I can
can
barely hear Mr.
hear
Collins. His line is
you
breaking.
perfect.
I think you should go out and come back in so that we can wrap this up because the network is terrible today. Waiting for him to come back on. I have a few questions that you can answer before we answer Agnes's question. Um, would with everything Mr. Collins as CEO has explained and the insights that he has revealed to us today, would you use an AI tool that alerts you with your favorite when your favorite airline drops prices or increase prices? You can answer a yes or a no. And please, guys, don't forget to go to follow and like our videos. Um, After this live, there will be a link shared on our story. Please try filling out the forms and share, or if you would want AI to help you with your travels, your travel plans, to be your assistant, you can just fill out the forms. While we are still waiting for Mr. Collins. Oh, I can see a lot of yes and of course. Nice. Thank you, guys. Finally, I can see you. Welcome
See,
back.
I've jumped from one network to another. I just don't know what is happening today.
Okay, I asked a question earlier and I'm getting answers. Simi said I prefer no internet though. I asked a question earlier. Let me put it back on. I said, would you prefer delayed flight or no internet at your hotel? No one is good. Both are worse, but which would you pick? And Timmy said, we prefer no internet. He doesn't want to miss his flight.
Oh God, can I stay without internet?
I don't think I can. Can delay my flight.
I'd rather have that delay flight. Delay flight.
And delayed flight is really not a nice experience, he said.
It's actually
At
it's not
all. I would still prefer it to no internet.
no internet. Sometimes when you travel and you get to another country, and at that point your phone network would not probably serve you, you are
Yeah.
now begging them to give you their Wi-Fi. And there was a time they gave me a Wi-Fi and it wasn't working right. I was almost trying to go mad at everybody. Why is it not working? Because you are outside. It seems as if you are out of the world. You don't even know what is happening again.
And Mr. Kosi Odogu, I can't pronounce the full name, but he said no internet too.
No
He
internet.
prefers no
Some
internet.
people can actually stay without internet, without their phones, right? I don't think I can stay without my phones. And
And
for
Kemi
that
said
phones to be
delayed
there,
flight. Nice. Okay, so I think a lot of people preferred their flights being delayed. No, they do not want their flights to be delayed, and they want the internet to just cease for them to just go to their get to their destination. I prefer the other way around.
I prefer
So
the other way around.
we have one last question from Agnes, and she said, for flight personalization, will new clients have access to the information from the AI, or only existing clients will get this since their databases are in the system already?
Okay, so one good thing about travel is similar companies or similar industries would basically have the same or similar travel pattern. I would use a specific instance that we've noticed. Travel for entertainment industry, right? From what we've seen, it's kind of fast paced and it is like that. And you are coming in, the system will automatically judge you based on the industry you are coming from, right? Why it's built on your own travel information. But before then, it would use information available to present options based on what companies or similar companies have probably provided it. However, upon onboarding, there would be like a KYC question where from where you are required to type in a few responses or a few information. So from that, if something like your preferred airlines, your preferred cabin seats, or if there are any policy within the company that you want to add into the system. If this person would always fly economy, or would this person always fly business class, if there is a budget to spending that this particular person should not pass. We've seen instances where someone would send you a request, or someone is looking for a flight, but they already have a budget. I don't want this flight to be over 200,000, right? So it becomes a policy or a system for them. So for us, you can also include all this information while creating your account, and the system would use this information to now form a user profile, also adding information from similar industries just like yours, and then it can now give you option based on this information, why it builds on as you book, you now build your own history as well. So it's not just about when you come you are left without anything. There is still a system that would help you to not miss out on the solution.
Okay. All right. We have come to the end of this live, and we do not have any more questions. Please, if you have more questions, you can drop them and we'll still answer. We have two
I think we
minutes.
have that
Let's
form.
give 2 minutes.
We have a form. Can you drop the form so that people can actually fill the form just about understanding their travel experiences, their pain points, right? Because the truth is, we can't build out this solution without having to understand specific pain points that are unique to you, right? If we are able to understand specific pain points that you experience, it can now help us to go deeper into those pain points and design solutions that would probably help you during your next trip. That is the idea for us. So I don't know if you can drop the link to the question, or
I
so that
made I made a remark about that few minutes ago before when you were off. I wanted to post the link on the store they could fill out the form. But I think I should just paste it on the chat here. So
okay, just drop it on the chat
oh,
and
we didn't answer his last question. Let me check that. Um, Okay, he said, how safe is the AI tool when it comes to safeguarding employees' data against being hacked? Okay, that was the question I asked that made you went offline, or
Yeah,
that
okay.
your
I,
network.
I, I like this question because I think we've missed it so far in our conversation. Now, when it comes to data safety, it is very, very important when it comes to businesses. And the truth is, you are, as a company, you are giving a lot out there, right? You are exposing and giving out a lot of information about your company. But the good part of it is that we don't even have this information, right? The information is still streamlined
Okay.
within your own company. So the information that the system would probably throw to us are information that we probably need, something like your passport information, so that the system would always use that for booking your flight without having to ask you, can you send your passport data page? So those are probably the details that the system is probably going to sent to the company, right? So data safety and data storage, it's also something that we are putting a lot of effort in, right? It's not just about building out this solution. We want your data to be secured for you, right? And why building that? Even what we have currently now, we spent quite a lot safeguarding the data of probably companies that are already using this solution currently, right? If your company is probably using that, you would probably notice that sometimes when you were asked to update your passport data page, right, you just update that. Even the person sending you the email to update that passport data page, it's not from us directly. It's the system that is sending it to you. So we don't even have the information. So we are actually very aware of the problem when it comes to data leak, and we spent money to ensure that data is secured when it comes to the GoKardinal's platform.
Okay. Timmy, hope your question has been answered. Okay, I have sent the link to the form. I don't know if they can actually get it from here, but please, if you can't get the link from here, I'll be posting it on the story after this live, so you can get the link from there and also fill out the form. Okay, but I've posted it there. I hope they can copy and fill out the form, or they can actually click from it. I don't know.
Okay, I think on the story would also work, so that it's always there for
Yeah.
everyone to take action.
Okay, Timmy said his questions has been answered. Have been answered rather. Okay, yes. So thank you, Mr. Collins. If you have anything else to say, please, you can. And if you have more questions, you can still drop them. If we don't answer them here, we can still answer them on our next section. And here in Kardinal, we shape the future of business travels and make it easier for you to travel freely and without stress, actually, because a lot of people feel traveling is stressful. I love traveling though, but some people feel traveling is stressful. So here in GoKardinal, we make it easy. So if you're looking for that stressless travel, just sit in your house, pack your bags, and straight to the airport, and you're going. You're at the right spot. GoKardinal. So thank you to me. He said this segment is interesting. Thank you. We're building something here and we have you in mind, and we hope to see you in our next section. Thank you, Mr. Collins, for speaking and giving us more insight on how the future AI travels would work.
Yeah, thank you.
Please take 1 minute to fill out the survey links I sent out. I'm still going to post it on our stories for us to fill out the form. And thank you, everyone from GoKardinal team. Thank you for joining this live. Bye.
Okay, bye.